Hey everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Thursday, February 13th. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly trade ideas video where we bring you some of the names from our watch list, stocks that are holding up well, showing some relative strength, and ideally are not yet too extended in their moves. As always, these videos are powered by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We're curating ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we're publishing this a day later. I was feeling a little under the weather yesterday, so the usual Wednesday schedule didn't happen, but we're back here. We got 5 names we're looking at today, and we're going to jump into it with CZZ. This is the first idea. This comes from IBD's watch list. And I don't personally trade a whole lot of individual energy stocks, but when we think about a sector that has basically been underperforming for really years on end at this point. This is a particular stock that is showing some great relative strength in this sector. CZZ, it's a smaller cap name. If we zoom out here, you can see, of course, it's had just a monster run from 2018 all the way to present day. I don't know if this is quite all-time. Yeah, it is all-time highs at this point. So it's trying to stay above the old 2012 highs here. And if we zoom in a little bit further and we just look at the recent price action, you can see this very clean run it went on into the end of 2019, basically the month of December. This thing floated higher, and it's been consolidating that mostly through time here. It hasn't really given anything back meaningful in terms of a price percentage pullback. It's just been consolidating sideways, slightly lower highs, fairly stiff support here around 2140. So this is an interesting pattern to pay attention to look at. It does have earnings, I think, next week, so you do have to keep that in mind. But for now, great relative strength candidate in a sector that has been pretty beaten up. So CZZ, that's the first idea. Number 2 here is BRBR. This one comes from IBD's IPO lists, and it's a great source to look at new issues that are coming public here. And this one does certainly have a wider sort of consolidation that it's been playing in here, all the way down from about $20 to $24. So about an 18% range that it's been back and forth in just over a month of trading. So it goes to show you that it is more volatile here for sure. But it is above its IPO price. It's holding up underneath prior highs here, and I would be paying attention to this consolidation for a continuation pattern, for a continued move in this IPO name. So BRBR, take a look at that one there if you like trading IPOs. And last but not least, from IBD's list is a solar name, SEDG. This may have been an idea for us way back at the end of 2019 as this was consolidating. I mean, the solar plays, for the most part, have been working nicely higher. You can see this is basically trading at all-time highs right now. This is the long-term look at this particular stock. But if we zoom in a little bit further here, you can see that yesterday it got a new all-time closing high. It's pulling back just a little bit today, but still trading just off of its all-time highs. It's recently kind of resolved this longer-term multi-month consolidation higher. It's trying to put in, kind of put in this little sideways shorter term consolidation here that it's trying to emerge from. So like the general technical landscape here, this one does have earnings coming up soon as well, so do keep that in mind. But it looks like it's trying to continue in its uptrend and resolve higher. Now, last 2 from our watch list. First here is NVCR. This one here, again, you can see if we zoom out here, it's been in a very strong uptrend for the past about 2 to 3 years since the 2017 lows, rallied from remarkably all the way to around $6 or $7, all the way up to $90. A very, very strong move here. And for the past about 5-6 months at this point, since summertime in 2019, we really haven't gone anywhere in Novacure. It's been just moving sideways underneath this $100 level, finding support around 70. This has basically been the very broad sort of range that it's been in, and it's had some tighter kind of higher lows getting put in more recently, but really the goalpost seems to be $100 or so. I think this is an interesting one to pay attention to. It's got a lot of kind of pent up sideways movement here, so if it can get a breakout, I think this one's interesting. So NVCR, keep an eye on that one. Last but not least is really just an update from our video last week. So ALNY, this was a trade idea that we surfaced last week as it was right in here starting to break out and resolve. If you recall, this was a position that we do own. We still own it, but we have scaled some profits into this breakout move. So we scaled about 50% of the trade off at this point. We still have half of the position on. So we are still long this, raised up our stop, basically using this here as the lower end of this consolidation as our exit price going forward. And we're going to look to see if this can continue to run higher here. So ALNY, it's a little bit extended in the short term, but it's emerging from and getting follow through from this weekly kind of breakout pattern here. We talked about it last week. It was a position, and figured I'd update on some of our management for it as well as the development of this trade. So still like it, still own it, scaled some profits, and looking for higher prices. So that's it. That's what we got for this week's video. 5 different names there. Hopefully something that looks interesting to you guys. Remember, do your homework on these names. Make sure they fit your risk tolerance, your objectives, your strategy, most importantly, and double check those earnings dates. So that's it for me. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning in and watching. We'll be back here tomorrow for the weekend market recap video.